Okay, let me give you an overview of my aquaponics setup that I have. First of all, the type of setup. This is my fish tank right here, and it gravity feeds out of this pipe into my bed. I did it this way so that I wouldn't have to have the pump out into the bed, because then if you had a problem and your pump kept pumping and it wasn't draining correctly or something was wrong, then your fish would run out of water. This way, even if the pump gets shut off, they still have water and hopefully they don't die. I've got goldfish in there right now. They're just basically here to help me start the cycling, and it's been going now for a little over a month. So my nitrites and nitrates are starting to settle out along the levels that they should be. Because this is gravity fed, I had to put the barrel up on some blocks, so I just blocked it up with a couple cinder blocks, and then I put some wood underneath just to provide a little bit better support for that. This here is my sump tank, and I've got the beds draining into that. Again, still working on designs. I think I'd maybe rather do it vertical next time and maybe do it a little bit different, but it works fine. Down here is my outlet for the water flow, and I'll get to the other side, give you a little bit better view. Okay, so I'm using an airlift pump. This black fitting right there is actually my check valve, and it's a flapper style check valve. It's I believe it's a 1.5 inch. So I've got 2 inch coming out. Next, adapted it down to 1.5 inch, and then there's a slight rise, and then here's where my water or my air hose plugs in, and this is all wet because I was messing around and got water all over. That was my fault. And then it goes down to 1 inch, and then to 3/4 inch going up. This is the collector for it, and I'm just gonna pop this off real quick. Okay, so the water shoots up through the little pipe and then collects around the edges and then flows out through here, and then gravity takes it on into the fish tank. This little guy is just to kind of quiet it down, a muffler, so air can get in, and then the water will shoot clear up to the top, so it also keeps the water from going everywhere. I'll give you a test run of that in just a second and show you how it does. It works great. This bed I just made, it's basically 2x4 foot bed. I used 2x12s, made the frame, put plywood on the bottom, 2 layers of 6 mil plastic, and then I put in my clay pellets. I used a bulkhead fitting to get a good seal against the plastic at the bottom. It hasn't leaked at all, and then I have it adapted to this 3/4 inch to drain into the sump tank. This is my 4 inch pipe, just to keep clay pellets away from my siphon valve. My siphon cover I just made using 2 inch pipe and cut some slits about 1 inch from the bottom, and it's worked fine. In there, you know, I've got 3/4 inch with a 1 inch flare at the top. That's a 3/4 to 1 inch adapter, and that's because if you have the flare at the top, the larger diameter and a smaller tube, it creates a better suction. But this has been working really good. Haven't had any problems with it, so I'll just put that back. I do get a couple clay pellets in there, but every once in a while I pull them out. This bed right here is actually a float bed. Well, not really a float, but a raft. It doesn't sit on the water though. I made the frame on this out of 2x6s and then covered them in plastic, and then I took these 1x3s and I raised them up to the top edge and then nailed them in. So what you get is you basically create a lip, and your styrofoam can just sit right on that lip. Inside I just have one drain in the middle, and so it just maintains a constant water level. The roots can go in. I do have an oxygenator in there. I probably don't need it, but I figure, hey, why not? More oxygen the better. This styrofoam's easy to get at Home Depot and cheap, and so I just cut it to fit. Took my 2-inch hole saw and put a bunch of 2-inch holes in it where I wanted, and then I just stick my net cups in there. So I've got mini bok choy and arugula and a bunch of lettuce plants. I found that the lettuces do a lot better on the raft bed, and so I grow them in here, and I keep the bigger plants and tomatoes, cucumbers, stuff like that over in the clay pellets. Still experimenting. I do have so this will pull the water from the bottom. There's notches in the bottom of this pipe so that it doesn't take the water off the top, and that helps keep the solids out of the bed. I'm sure you've seen a lot of other similar setups online. The gravity takes it down, and then I have it tilted slightly towards the bed, so most of the flow goes to this bed. A little bit goes to that bed. It doesn't need a lot of flow, and I even have this shut off a little bit. That also helps keep solids out of the other bed. If you've never seen an airlift pump before, Katie, go ahead and plug that in. I'll show you how it's pumping there. So it oxygenates and pumps really well. Go ahead and leave that plugged in, Katie. As you can see, then it just pumps right into the bed, or into the fish tank as the water level rises. Takes it out there, takes it to the beds. And this is catching up because we had it shut off, and so it kind of flowed out a little bit. But you'll see the water level pick up here shortly. And well, once the airlift gets going, then we'll be okay. Alright. Yeah, it's going a little bit better now. It'll pick up as it kind of gets into a rhythm and gets all the air flowing the right direction, and then you get a pretty good flow out of it. It drains and fills this bed about several times an hour. I haven't fully timed it yet, but I am working on that. So anyway, there's an update, and let me know if you have any questions.